Hey everyone, Jennifer here from Joy Wellness Journey Home Yoga to talk about the pose of the week, which is triangle or Trikonasana. Just some different ways to get in and out of the posture. So when working with triangle, alignment is key. So it's not necessarily about how far you can get your hand down on your leg, but it's about finding your shoulders, your hips, and your knees on the same plane of existence, if you will. So bring your feet out wide. We'll turn the right foot out. And the foot alignment here, the heels are either aligned or the heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. And we're gonna place the block to the outside of that right foot. And just check in with your hips. So we're squaring the hips this way, not toward this foot that's turned out. So we're squaring the hips forward versus over to whichever leg is pointing out. And we're gonna start just by reaching down for that block. And if that's a pretty easy reach for you, then you can go ahead and use the block. Otherwise, you can have your hand right above your knee or on your thigh. So remember, we're trying to keep the knees, hips, and shoulders in the same plane. So Kelsey actually mentioned in class the other night, like a toaster. Like you're squeezing in between. Think about yourself being in a toaster. And so you're fitting in that slot. So we're reaching the hand down for the block and we're opening, so you feel, since our right leg is out, you're feeling that right hip scoop under, left hip open, and then reaching that left arm up toward the ceiling. And you'll feel a nice stretch on the inside of the right thigh when your right leg is the one that's in front. And you can kind of squeeze your legs or engage your legs, engage your core. You're lengthening out through the spine, out to the side. And you're finding a comfortable gaze, so you want your neck to be comfortable. So yes, full expression, you look up toward your hand, but if that strains your neck, then you want to look down toward your foot or straight ahead, and then maybe play around with looking up towards your hand. You kind of keep the chin tucked a little bit, you're reaching, you're opening. And if you find that your hip, your butt sticking way back behind you, your hips are kind of turned, and that means you just need to bring your hand higher up and find that alignment. Find what works for you. And then eventually, over time, over practicing for months and months or whatever, your body starts to adjust to the posture. So you can find yourself able to go deeper into the posture, and you might even be able to bring your fingertips down to the mat and find your full expression of triangle. And if you look at yourself in triangle, you actually see many different triangles within the triangle. And it's really good for strengthening the legs, the core, your upper body. It's kind of a full body posture, and it's a reflective posture. So it's good to hold for 5 or 10 breaths and just notice what's happening in your body and be in the posture and release tension where it's not needed over and over again. So that's one way to get into the posture. Another way to get into it is to stretch. I'm going to switch sides, so now I'm turning my left foot out. Is to, maybe for your warrior two, you might be working through your warriors, and then you start to straighten that front leg, and you just kind of reach out to the side and then bring it back, and you just start to feel yourself align. So remember, knees, hips, and shoulders are on the same plane. Arms are reaching out. Heels are aligned, or that front heel with the arch of the back foot. And we're reaching, so you're stretching. You'll start to feel that stretch on the inner, this is the left leg now, so on the inside of the left leg. And then that's when you're gonna tip. And then the left hand comes down, right arm comes up. And you're checking your alignment. You're not reaching further than you can. You don't wanna lose that alignment of shoulders, hips, and knees. So arms out, reaching over, everything's still aligned, and then you tip. And see where it takes you. And you can inhale back up. This is good for core work, doing that, and for really bringing some flexibility to the inner thigh. So you inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. So it's just another variation of your triangle. Another way you can come into it is from your lunge, so you kind of build it from here. So back to the right foot forward. I'm going to use my block. I'm going to place it on the outside of that right foot, turning my back foot out, and then cartwheel, circle this left arm up, so out and up, and then start to straighten this leg. So this takes a little more adjusting because you're starting in more of kind of an intermediate way because your hand is down lower. So you start to notice where are my knees, my hips, and it's okay when you come into a posture to take your time and notice your alignment. Take your time and make adjustments. That's where you start to get to know where your body is in each posture, and you understand where you are in that moment of practice. And of course, it's different every time we come to our mat. So it's just another way to do it. You kind of just open up and find your way into it. Now, if you find yourself coming into it, let's see, from, say, standing A was something that we did in this morning's class, in Christina's class, is we walked over to the front leg, and then we started to find ourselves in our triangle. So it's similar to coming into it from the lunge. You really need to check in with your alignment. And really just remember when you come into it, are my shoulders, hips, and knees aligned? And if they're not, if your butt is way back behind you, if the bottom hip is turned way out and the top hip is turned in, then that just means you need to make adjustments. You're scooping that bottom hip and opening the top hip so that way you can find that alignment. So even if your hand is on your thigh, but your alignment is perfect, that's great. When you're way down here and you're looking silly and your butt's way back behind you, it's not doing anything for your body in the posture. You're not building a practice that's gonna, where you'll really notice a difference the next time you go into triangle. So just some different variations for triangle. Hope you're enjoying that posture of the week, and we'll see you in class. Namaste.